Hi Andreas, thanks for having us here.
No trouble.
We've been working for quite some time together now, so could you explain what is your role and present yourself briefly?
Well, my name is Andreas, and I'm the head of conservation here at Rosenborg. And as head of conservation, my main focus is to take care of our objects and our castle. And to help me do this, I have a department of very skilled conservators within the different field of objects in the museum, so paintings, textiles, cultural heritage, etc. Yeah.
So what are your main challenges on a daily basis? Can you give some examples for conservation?
Well, the main challenge is that we are in an old house. We have,
you could say so.
we have no way of controlling the environment, and we have a lot of visitors. So how do we receive the visitors? How do we give them a good experience while visiting? A feeling of getting close to history, but still trying to keep them from touching everything in the castle.
And it works pretty well.
It does, it does.
And so, can you explain practical issues we had together when we were preparing the logistic of this exhibition? Because we need to bring a lot of material, power. So what were the biggest issues for you?
I would say the biggest challenge that we still have to solve in the in the castle is where can we get power, because it's a very old building. How can we get power? How can we get the cables we need to connect the different loudspeakers? How can we hide them? Is there any channels under the floors? Is there any channels in the outside area where we can connect loudspeakers so that the audience doesn't trip and it looks it gives a nice visual experience for the visitors, so they don't actually see the technology that we introduce, so they can hear the sound but don't think about where we have the loudspeakers.
Yeah, and it's been quite a lot of practical things we needed to solve, but I think we're doing it's been also for me very interesting to try to find concrete solution, because we're not in a museum where we can do whatever we want. It's a 17th century building and we need to work with it, and it's interesting. So I think we're going to find solution for all our little practical issues, but it's been an adventure, I must say.
Yeah, and usually you start in one point and then you finish in another, but then it's a process of getting to where you want to be. Yes.
Yeah, and we're doing a good job. How do you consider your mission as a head of conservation?
Well, my mission as head of conservation is to have the overall view of the castle and the objects. So what are the bigger thoughts on how to preserve it and take care of it in the big picture? So now we had it for 400 years, how do we maintain it for the next 400 years? Is there something we can do to prolong the lifetime of the textiles inside the castle? What can we do on an even bigger scale to prevent fires? How do we make sure that the guards look after the objects, the technical department look after the objects? So how to make all the departments within the castle work together to preserve everything, both our objects and the castle.
And it's quite a mission, because you also have this massive amount of visitors that needs to experience it at the same time with preserving all these amazing collections, right?
Yeah, so it's good. We have a very good exhibition department that can take care of take that part of the story. Yes.
And what do you think the immersive exhibition is going to bring to the castle?
Well, we don't tell a lot in the castle. It's up to the visitors to find information on the website if they want to know more. And I think this experience will give them a layer of getting to know the castles and the people within the castle on a completely different level that we have tried before.
Let's hope. We worked hard for that. We shall see. Thank you so much, Andreas.
No trouble at all.
Hi, Laura. Thank you for having us here today. I'm going to ask you a few questions about. We've been working a long time together now. It's been a wonderful adventure. And can you first briefly present yourself and explain your role at Rosenborg Castle?
My name is Laura Weikop. and I'm head of exhibitions and research. That means that here at Rosenborg, my areas of expertise and responsibility is mediation within the exhibitions, creating new exhibitions, both within the castle and also the other ones we have, and also the strategy, the visionary play, and to create synergy between exhibitions and research itself.
That's why we work a lot together.
Yeah.
And could you explain your take on the visitor experience of the castle now, before the immersive
sound.
exhibition?
Yeah. I think many people who come to our castle, to Rosenborg Castle, they'll experience some kind of authentic experience, but also perhaps a very downplayed understanding of the history itself and the castle itself. It's an experience of a place that used to have life itself in it, but it's now an empty and perhaps a bit dark castle, but also a wonderful place where you can very easily imagine the life that's been there and all the noises and all the sounds that we're going to put into it right now.
So how do you think that is going to change the visitors' experience?
Hopefully, I think that people coming to the castle after the immersive sound project, when they experience the sound of Rosenborg, they'll have an experience of, first of all, history, where it used to be, an authentic experience of the lives that were lived there, of the people who were there, and also the way the castle were used, which stories it framed, and how we can tell them in a way that makes history present.
That is exactly the scope we wanted to have, so let's see if we did a good work.
Well, hopefully we'll succeed.
We look forward to the exhibition, the opening. And what has been for you the biggest challenge in creating this exhibition?
I don't think we'll have had experienced the biggest challenge yet. I think it will be after we open, to have people to understand what path to take within the exhibition, and also in relation to our staff. I think everybody will be overwhelmed and have a great experience within the sound, but there's also something about the amount of visitors we have at the castle, and then adding sound to the experience. I'm very interested in how that will work.
We'll have to wait for the opening, I guess.
Yeah, we will.
And finally, what did you first thought when I approached you and told you about this idea of making a sound immersive exhibition?
I thought, great, that's a wonderful idea. It's everything that could be possible and could be a way of mediating Rosenborg without changing the castle, but just adding experiences and creating something that immersed the visitor in history itself. And then I thought, oh Jesus, how are we going to do about the logistics?
Yes.
So that was my main concern, but I think we'll work everything out.
Hi Peter.
Hello, Christine.
How are you doing today?
Fine, thank you.
It's lovely to see you. We've been working quite a lot over the last 5 years.
Yes, we have indeed.
And we've spent quite a lot of time here.
Indeed, as well, yes.
Could you briefly present yourself and explain what is your role at Rosenborg?
Well, I'm a curator here and have been here for too many years, 32 years. So I have a large knowledge of almost every object. We don't have so many objects, we only about 10,000 or something like that.
I can confirm.
Yeah.
If I have a question, I come to you.
As a curator, one of my tasks is to making research in our objects and a lot of other things, answer queries and silly questions from people, and sometimes very silly, sometimes very scientific. So, but it has to be done.
Diversity, I guess.
Yes, indeed.
Can you tell me what is your favorite object in the castle?
Oh, that's difficult.
Yeah, I know. Too many nice things here.
Too many nice things. I love the crown of Kristiansen IV, but it's too easy to love because it's so fantastic. I love the unicorn throne.
Yes.
Because the history of making of unicorn is too fantastic. And I also love a little piece of flint stone we have in one of the other rooms with a little silver frame, said that this was found by the vicar on Anholt. Anholt is one of the smaller Danish islands, and he was walking on the beach and found this little stone. And the reason he found it, there's a C-shaped figure in it, and the C for Christian, of course, Christian VI, the king of that time. So it must be one of nature's miracles. So he sent it to the Kunstkammer in Copenhagen. And one of the other miracles is that it's still preserved. So we have it. And of course the C is pure nature, because flint was an organic organism, a living organism, and yes.
A little marvel of nature.
A marvel of nature.
To glorify the king.
Of course.
Could you present us this amazing Italian cabinet?
Yes, I can. There's one of two. The other one is at Fredensborg Palace, at one of the the kings and queens' castles, and they were brought to Copenhagen in the 1760s, as far as I remember, and they're quite similar, but are older. They are from mid 17th century, something like that, made in Rome, and inlaid with precious stones and inlaid with watercolors of scenes from the Old Testament. They should be after Raphael.
They are from the Loggia of the Vatican.
You
yes.
have found
yes.
them good, because they don't look very Raphaelitic, seeing them in watercolors. And but the thing here is they had two funny things. One is a night clock, and it's called a night clock because the clockwork doesn't make any sound when it goes. So you can have it in your bedroom. And the other thing, it doesn't have any bells, so it doesn't ring when the clock is full. And then there's a little lamp inside. In fact, a little oil container, what you had a little lamp in, and there's a chimney on the back to let the smoke out. And then there are some holes, and there's a cipher, and the cipher goes round and changes. So at one look, you can see at the clock at this time must be just after 12:30, 12 and a half. And so you can wake up and see the night is glowing red, and that's the time.
Amazing.
Amazing, yeah, the German clockmaker. And of special interest of this little session is, of course, what was hidden in the drawer.
It's a cabinet full of surprises.
It's a cabinet full of surprises. Because a part here that can be pulled out. And now I have it to put it on another table because I need more space. Oops. And in here is a small instrument.
A teeny tiny spinet.
Yeah.
How gorgeous.
I don't see. Can it stand here? It can stand here. Yes.
I can hold it.
It's in balance. Tiny, very, you're going to say, very undecorated instrument compared with the cabinet, but it's dated. One of the keys are dated 1678, and we had a Scottish researcher some years ago that was convinced that it must have been made by Mabriani in Rome.
Yeah.
And
very famous.
Yeah.
Instrument maker, yes.
And of course it can't play anymore, and I think it's out of tune. And please don't try.
No, I think we did.
You say ching, and then the string will break.
But is this ivory?
Of course, it's ivory. Yes.
Of course. Beautiful.
The keys are clad with iris, but it's not ebony. The black keys. It looks like just has been a kind of painted or painted wood. And There's no, well, there's a signature as well, or kind of signature on one of the keys together with the year, but there's no decoration at the board, so it's very simple.
Plain, yeah, because it's hidden.
It's because it's
no?
hidden,
It was
yes.
like a,
But still, with sort of fine cornices in wood around.
beautiful instrument.
Beautiful instrument. I think we can. How is it? This one can be lifted, and you can see into the instrument. So it's very simple, very modern in a way.
Lidt for meget.